to the Eugene Torto YouTube channel. I want to thank everybody that subscribed so far. If you haven't, please go down, hit the subscription button right below, and thumbs up, and leave comments. That all supposed to help my channel grow, and maybe one day I'll get monetized. But anyway, getting back to the subject. Today's subject is lubing the front suspension on a C4. And if you haven't seen it already, I did a video on one of the most overlooked lube points on a C4, which is on the front suspension. That will be the spring pad on the front spring where it makes contact with the lower control arm. I'll try and leave a better picture of it up there, and I'll go over that and best way to how I lube the front suspension, and the best way to lube that lower spring pad. Now I'm not going to go ahead and go through the full procedure on go ahead and physically remove everything that needed to be done to lubricate that lower spring pad, but I'll go over what has to be done, and I'll give some tips on lubing. And if you didn't see it in the last video, it was about in the factory service manual, it says when you lubricate, you got to make sure it's 10 degrees or higher whenever you lube the suspension. That's kind of funny, but it might sound kind of funny because who's going to go out there in 10-degree weather and do it? Well, I usually wait till the weather's warmer and do it, like just before I put the car on the road. My garage isn't heated. You can hear the heater probably going in the background. I only heat it when I come out here. One day I'll get the regular heat out here and to finish insulating and all that stuff, and I'll have heat out here all the time. But if you're like me or you work out in your driveway, you might want to make sure it's above 10 degrees, or keep the grease gun, or at least keep the grease gun inside before you go out and lube it. But to get on with the subject at hand, and I hope everybody can see this, if you're going to lube that front spring pad, now that doesn't say in the factory service manual how often that should be done. It just says to do it whenever you replace the spring or whatever. And so anytime you have the front and lower control arm off, you might want to lube it, but it will build up corrosion between that rubber pad and the control arm. Of course, if you're a low mile C4, it's always been garage kept, you probably don't have to worry about it. That being said, if your car is like 30 years old, you should at least maybe go ahead and lube that once. And it does should help the suspension ride a little bit better, because what happens is that spring pad rubs back and forth as the control arm moves up and down. To lubricate it, what you need to do is disconnect your sway bar link. You're better off disconnecting both the top and bottom and totally remove it, and then remove either your lower or upper shock mount, because once you put load on the spring, you need to push down on the control arm to get the gap that you need to get grease under there. Now I prefer to use a synthetic grease. It doesn't really recommend, it says just use a chassis lube, I believe, in the service manual, but that's how you pretty much want to do it, is either jack the spring up, and I recommend if you jack the spring up, not to do it with the car on all 4 jack stands. Do it with just front jack stands and the rear wheels on the ground, because as you jack that spring up, you tend to lift the whole car back off the jack stand. You have to be very careful about that. Another thing you could do is put the jack underneath the car, jack the car up, lower the spring onto a jack stand, and see if that pushes up. Either way, you're going to need the shock removed and this link. And you want to remove the links. Like I said, you want to remove the link completely. You want to do link on both sides when you go to do it. It just makes it easier. It also makes it easier for reinstalling it, because getting these bolts lined back up when you put it all back together can be a bear. So keep that in mind. I'll try and get a picture underneath of what I'm talking about. There's a spring protector. Like in this instance, I just have the jack underneath. and I have a board. I'll post a picture up here somewhere of what it looks like. You could remove, there's a spring protector. It's like 4 bolt holes, this aluminum cover that protects the spring from rocks and stuff. You could remove that and make it a little bit easier to get a better block of wood under there if you feel more secure doing it that way. Just be careful you don't damage the spring. You don't want to do that. No one right now is popping out new front springs. I hear there's a company out there that's talking about reproducing the front springs. The spring I have on here now is a soft ride spring I got from Vet Brake Products. They're no longer in business, so you can't get those anymore. Same with this sway bar. You can get sway bars, but you can't get the Vet Brake Products front sway bar. It's like either 30 millimeter or 32 millimeter. I forgot, but that's a big, heavy, solid sway bar. So let me get going. I'll get this tripod set up and I'll go over greasing. Okay, here we are. First thing you want to do is always clean your grease fittings real good. You don't want any dirt being pumped into them. And use a good quality grease. I recommend a good synthetic grease, whatever brand you prefer. You're better off doing it with the wheel out. I mean, you can get this is obviously you can get with the wheel on it, the top one. The lower one, if you have the 90-degree one like I have on the bottom, you can get it with the wheel on. It's difficult, and you're going to get grease on probably all over your inside of your wheel. And the same with the tie rod end. If that is a 90-degree, I believe you can get that with the wheel on. Mine doesn't, so I just find it's better with the wheel off, and and it just keeps the wheel a lot cleaner too. If you go by the factory service manual, it says to pump this full of grease until it starts to come out. When I put these in new, these are all Moog, even though it looks rusty. It's starting to rust on the outside. I'll probably paint that. The black finish is coming off. But both the upper, lower, and tie rod end are all Moog items. And when I put them in new, I grease them till the grease comes out. And then after that, when I grease it, I'll put 2 to 3 pumps in each one. Usually 3 pumps. And that's it. I don't worry about keep pumping the grease out all over the place and it makes a mess. That's a personal preference. How you want to do it is up to you. But one tip I want to give is when you use your grease gun, if you don't have one of those fancy ends like I don't, with the little lever on it that automatically releases it, something to keep in mind. Okay, because like right now, see how I just tighten this up? I keep this loose, and the reason I do that is, here, let me loosen it up again, take it off, and I'll tighten it up. I always leave that loose because, like right now, it's tight. I'm going to put it on there, and I can't get it off. Now I can keep pulling and going back and forth. I guarantee you'll end up breaking that grease fitting. You don't want to do that. Normally they're easy to get out if you do, but it's just something you don't want to do. If it gets stuck on there like this one, you don't have one of those fancy ones with the lever that releases it. Just and this is tight. Just put a wrench here and a pair of pliers here. Loosen that up, and it'll pop right off. Do your upper, your lower, do it like I said with the wheel off, no load on the suspension. After you get done greasing it, just give it a good wipe down. I'm probably I ain't super worried about the appearance. I do like it looking nice because I do a lot of car shows. I used to keep it super clean, and I just drive this so much here in the Northeast that it's almost impossible. So I kind of gave up. I do keep it clean. I'll give it a cleaning sometimes, and the wheel well cleaning, like if I'm going to a car cruise and I know I ain't going to be going through rain and dirt. You know, it's up to you how nice you want to keep it. Some people like to polish these aluminum control arms and everything. They polish up really nice. A lot of people polish them up when they take them off and put new bushings on and clear coat it. And either way, you're going to be using a lot of your time. If you have a lot of time and you don't like doing that stuff, you like detailing the car, go ahead and do it. I just don't have the time or the patience to do that anymore. But well, getting on to bushings, this one has polyurethane. I can't remember which manufacturer. In my opinion, they're all the same. On the front suspension, you got a choice of polyurethane, you got a choice of Delron, and then there's some company in Australia that makes something that's similar to polyurethane, but it's supposed to be better. They're really expensive though, and I believe they get shipped from Australia. I may be wrong. Comment down below if you know about it. But you can also get ones for racing. Well, they're for racing use only, that have Heim joints on them, so you can adjust the camber in and out more. Or in and out more, you have more adjustment over the camber and so forth. But getting on to the spring pad, like I said, you have to disconnect the sway bar and the shock and get a load on it, jack it up. Like I said, as soon as you feel it start to lift the car off the jacks, stop, and then push the control. Might have to physically push the control arm down. And you can either use any method you want to apply the grease. You can stick the end of the grease fitting underneath and just pump it, and or you can get yourself a good lube like a lithium grease or something. I would use like a chain cable lube. The reason I would use this is it's safe for rubber O-rings on chains, so you're going to be lubricating a rubber pad, so you know it's safe for the rubber. And it's non-sling, and you know, it's not supposed to get washed off by water and all that stuff. So it says here it has PTFE in it too, so that can't hurt. And like I said, if your car's 30 years old and it's low mileage, that pad probably hasn't been lubricated since it was installed at the factory. So sorry I didn't go in more detail on how to do that. Like I said, I'll post pictures during the video of what to look for. But hope this is helpful. Another thing I should go over, I guess, is the rear. There are no lube points on the rear suspension. Let's see if I can get this GoPro off of here, and I'll get over there. Here is the rear suspension on my car. Now on the C4s from the factory, there are no grease fittings of any kind. Not on the drive shaft or the propeller shaft, as the factory service manual refers to it as, or the half shafts universal joints. You're better off the solid ones. They're stronger. The only time you should have greasable universal joints, in my opinion, is if you're off-roading or you go through a lot of mud and water and stuff, and it might get contaminated. But if you look on my lower, or my control arms, or what I refer to as dog bones, these pieces right here, you can see I have grease fittings, and those I added when I did the polyurethane bushings. And they do seem to help when you grease it. Does seem a little more compliant afterwards, and does make a mess though, even though I only put a little bit in there. As the suspension works up and down, it'll work its way out the grease. So something to keep in mind. That's about it for this video. I got other projects I need to do on this yet. I need to get that intake manifold off. I want to seal the rear china wall on that. And my headers hopefully will be coming back soon, hopefully this week. I sent them out for a recoat. I'll try and do a video on that, how they came out and everything, and I'll put them back in. Get the exhaust fixed up. I might wait to take the intake off till I get the headers back on and the exhaust back on and all that stuff. This way I don't have a bunch of stuff laying all over the place. So I'll probably just go that route. But anyway, thanks for watching. I hope that my videos are helpful. Hope to have a lot more videos in the future. So like I said, just go down there, subscribe, or check back on the channel once in a while. Everybody have a good day, and God bless.